The world is watching the Middle East, with growing concern after a significant military event unfolded. On August 24, 2025, Israel launched a series of airstrikes on Sana'a, the capital city of Yemen. This action represents a serious escalation in the conflict with the Houthi movement. The strikes were notable for their distance and scale. This is part of a larger, more complicated story involving regional powers. Long-standing grievances and a cycle of attack and retaliation have been building for months. Understanding this event requires looking at the key players and their motivations. The distance and the weapon systems involved highlight the seriousness of the confrontation. This event is not isolated, it is accelerating a regional crisis. Any military action carries a heavy human price. The Israeli airstrikes on Sana'a were no exception. Yemen's health ministry reported at least 4 to 10 people killed, and between 67 and 92 wounded. Emergency services rushed to help the injured. These numbers represent real people, families, friends, neighbors. Communities scrambled to help one another amid chaos. The strikes damaged civilian infrastructure, power plants and fuel depots. That threatens hospitals, homes and essential services. The psychological toll is immense. Families displaced, children out of school. Livelihoods and local economies suffer long after the strikes end. The human tragedy behind the headlines is profound and ongoing. The operation on August 24 was large-scale and complex. It showed significant logistical and technological capability. Reports say more than 10 fighter jets took part, flying about 2,000 kilometers. They dropped roughly 35 munitions across 4 targets. Target 1, a military compound. Target 2, a major fuel depot. Target 3, the Asar power plant. Target 4, the Hizaz power plant. Israel said the compound served command and control functions. Some local reports said parts were abandoned. The IDF claimed the plant supplied military activities, a central justification under the laws of war. Targeting infrastructure that serves both civilian and military ends is legally and morally controversial. The strikes did not happen in a vacuum. They are the culmination of months of rising tensions. Roots extend back to the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict and regional alignments. A key moment, May 4, 2025, when a Houthi missile landed near Ben Gurion Airport. That demonstrated the Houthis' ability to strike deep into Israeli territory. Since then, launches and airstrikes have traded back and forth, each action justifying the next. A dangerous cycle of escalation has taken hold. The conflict now risks pulling in other regional actors and destabilizing the broader Middle East. International observers are deeply concerned. Civilians on both sides bear the cost, displaced, hiding, and living with fear. Just before the Sana'a strikes, the conflict took another alarming turn. On the Friday evening preceding the strikes, the Houthis launched a missile containing cluster munitions. Cluster munitions disperse many small explosives, submunitions, over a wide area. They are indiscriminate and especially dangerous near populated areas. The missile targeted the Jinnitan community in central Israel. An 85-year-old woman sheltered in a fortified room and was unharmed. Israeli officials said the missile appeared to break apart in mid-air. Intercept failure was not linked to its cluster nature. Unexploded bomblets can remain dangerous for years, acting like landmines. Over 100 countries have signed the Convention on Cluster Munitions prohibiting their use. Neither Israel nor Yemen are signatories, complicating the diplomatic response. The use of a cluster weapon was a key trigger for Israel's subsequent heavy retaliation. In the aftermath, leaders on both sides issued powerful statements. Rhetoric was strong and uncompromising, deepening animosity. From the Israeli side, Defense Minister Israel Katz warned, "For every missile the Houthis launch, they will pay many times over." He invoked biblical language, threatening a plague of darkness and gloom. The Houthis responded with defiance, saying the strikes will not stop their support for Gaza. Mohammed al-Bukaidi said the aggression will not discourage them from supporting Gaza. Both sides use strong rhetoric to rally domestic and regional support. Analysts say the messaging hardens positions and reduces space for diplomacy. The words from both sides show entrenched positions. Little room for compromise. The strikes quickly drew condemnation from many governments and groups in the region. The Houthi-controlled health ministry labeled the attacks war crimes. They claimed civilians and civilian facilities unrelated to military objectives were hit. Under international humanitarian law, such accusations carry significant weight. Hamas condemned the strikes as a violation of Arab sovereignty and international law. The attacks strengthened political ties among anti-Israel factions across the region. Accusations are used to build diplomatic pressure and calls for accountability. Some actors pushed for legal scrutiny and international investigation. As the dust settles, the conflict continues in the air and in public opinion, making the path to peace ever more uncertain. Key takeaway: civilian harm, contested legality of targets, and an expanded regional front. Subscribe for ongoing coverage.